the psychology of professional development. What would that mean? Okay, now you are in business or maybe you are in a professional environment and you are looking at how to improve yourself, or you're already working on improving yourself. But what is the psychological aspect of what you are doing to improve yourself so that you can become a better version of yourself? Are there some psychological implications to that? Have someone ever told you to like yourself? Have you ever maybe see people doing something and you, instead of maybe getting angry at the people, you instead pity such individual because you understand not what the individual has done, but where he or she is coming from. So psychology is something that is very important in the business environment, and we need to understand how it works. We need to understand what are the psychological implications of our professional development, of our businesses, of our engagement with people. Who are even the people that we are engaging with in our professional life? You can't just simply shift this by the side as if it is not important. It is important and it is fundamental. This is what we're going to be talking about today.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Achibekomson from Nigeria. I am an academic researcher and a lecturer in the University of Calabar. I am an author of over 35 journal papers or research papers published in reputable local and international journals. I'm a mental health advocate. I like helping people with health challenges. Aside that, I do a lot of humanitarian. I am a volunteer for International Human Rights Commission. I am also, a member of World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. I'm a board member. I like traveling. I like reading. I like doing research. And I'm here to speak to you this morning. So, Shasha, that's me. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much for that. We appreciate that. Would you like to tell me a bit about where you grew up? What do you remember?
I'm the fifth child of six out of six children, and the last daughter. I have five other siblings, three older females, one elder brother, and a younger brother. I was born and raised in Ikom local government of Cross River State in Nigeria. My parents were civil servants. I was brought up in a godly way. My mother was a disciplinarian to the core, though she passed some years back. She was a teacher, and she raised me up well. I grew up, loving people. I grew up understanding that all fingers are not equal. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. So I was, raised to work hard. My mother emphasized so much on education because she believed that education, is the bedrock of every nation, and education is a life changer for everyone. So I was made to understand that pursuing academic degrees is preparing for the future. So I think that really prepared me. I went to school. I went to primary school. I went to secondary school. I went to a college of education where I became interested and I fell in love with teaching. Teaching wasn't my first love. It wasn't my first passion. I grew up, nurses, felt like becoming a. So while in the college of education, in the midst of other children who had, at one point of their lives or the other, thought of becoming lawyers, thought of becoming doctors, found themselves in a college of education, not because we didn't do well academically, but because, let's say, I grew up and I didn't want anything to delay me. So when I finished secondary school, I picked that form for, that entrance examination into the college of education. And then when I got there, I decided I had a different perspective of life. I had a different perspective about life, and I thought of becoming a teacher. I became interested in teaching. That was why I pursued a degree in education after my, NC certificates. And then a few years after while I was serving, I got married. I have 4 kids as I speak with you. And then I decided to go back to school. While I was going to school while raising my children, while rearing children, let me put it that way. I was going to do my master's while rearing children. So I grew up. They grew up with me finishing my master's, and then I enrolled into the PhD aspect of it, and I rounded up. But while doing my PhD, I got a job in the University of Calabar. I didn't start from there. After my degree in education, after my NYC, that's National Youth Service, program, as we call it in Nigeria, a program after, your degree certificate, you go into the world to see how you can, integrate into the larger society and get to learn the culture of other people, get to, identify with other people. I think that is, a laudable one. So I came back, got married, and had children. And before that, I got a job in a nursery school, one of the best in my status at that time. I got a job in Hillcrest Secondary School, where I taught in the special education unit, because my first degree was in special education and geography. So I taught in the special education unit for some years, and then I got a job as a lecturer in the university. And it has been from one, level of progress to the other. It has not been too easy, but I think God has taken us through a path that we are proud of. And today I'm here. And then I stumbled on LinkedIn one day. I didn't come to LinkedIn to look for a job. I didn't come to LinkedIn for any other reason. I was looking for somebody. I was looking for a lost friend, I had this friend who was lost for a long time. So somebody told me to check. I checked other social media platforms and I couldn't trace the person. And somebody now suggested LinkedIn, since we suspected that he was out of the country as at that time. So that was how I got into LinkedIn. I think in 2019, I got into LinkedIn, 2017 rather, and I didn't find him. I found him, but it was just his face. He was faceless, no picture, and he wasn't an active member of LinkedIn. So I got disappointed and I left LinkedIn. I thought I had left forever. And then in 2020, I think so, 2021 rather, during the ASU strike, I was on the bed. I was just lying down and I was playing with my phone. I was on Facebook, because then I was a Facebooker, let me put it that way. I was on Facebook, trying to ease off the tension of the ASU strike and then the lack of salaries as at that time. I was just on my phone. And then I dropped the phone while actively working on Facebook to the kitchen. On coming back to the phone, I discovered that I was blocked. I tried to log back in. I couldn't gain access to Facebook. So that became a challenge, because I saw that, Facebook as the only platform where I could unwind. When I'm tensed, when I just go there, relax, laugh, and all of that. So it became a burden. I tried all I could do. I followed the prompts, the messages they were given to me. Yet I couldn't log into Facebook. So I just got discouraged. Then after a while, after like a month or so, while I was idle, nothing to do, nothing to play with, I now decided to, because the motivation to write wasn't even there. The motivation to research wasn't there, because we were on strike, long strike without salaries. So I decided to, revisit LinkedIn. And then when I revisited LinkedIn, the first post I saw was from one young boy, and I was inspired. I read the post, I was inspired. I started scrolling through LinkedIn page, and I got a lot of messages, I got a lot of posts, that really, really inspired me. So after that day, the next day was my birthday. I took some pictures and I snapped and I posted on LinkedIn celebrating my birthday. To my surprise, I got, I think, 4 or 5 messages, people celebrating me. I said, okay, so this could be another way out. That was how I started the second missionary journey on LinkedIn. And here am I today, building capacity, gathering momentum, having over 500 followers. And then I celebrated 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. I think that is really, really impressive. So that is how I got to LinkedIn. And I've been blessed to have friends like you and many others who are very supportive. So I thank you for this opportunity to, to tell a little story of myself.